Well, you know it's official when I put the tie on, so we're good to go. We're going to start this as we start all of our programs with the presentation of our colors and the national anthem. I ask that you all stand, please. You may be seated. Once again, I know you've heard from me way more than you probably wanted to today, but I thank all of you for coming down here. And this day is really about the kids. We do some very formal events here. Um, and we don't take the formality out of it here, but this is nice. It's a little more relaxed than some of our stuff because we want this to be a fun day. And ultimately, again, to celebrate these wonderful young men and women we have here. All of our parents, all of our guests, let's give a big round of applause to start this off to these kids. As we indicated before, this is our 8th year working with Cherry Creek Schools, which is ironically the longest partnership we've had is with Cherry Creek Schools. Cherry Creek was quick to get on board when the center started in 2010 and said, you know, Scott Siegfried and Chris Smith and some of those folks up in administration said, this is a neat thing they're doing down in Pueblo, Colorado. How can we get involved? So we came up with this idea. Now, years back, this was an art contest. This was a essay contest. But a couple years ago, we kind of went back to the drawing table, and we said, you know, not all the kids that write the best essay or write the best art are the ones doing everything. Now, I know some of you did write essays, but it wasn't simply because, hey, this was well written or you had all the facts straight. This is about passion. This is about service. This is about honoring service. So that's why this is so very special to us. And to continue this for yet another year is just humbling. And thank you again for, one, coming down. I mean, you probably got a Pueblo, Colorado field trip, but this is really neat. Another thing I want to do, we did this earlier, but will all of our veterans, please, once again, either stand or raise your hand if you're able, and let's give them a big thank you because that's why we are here today. So we're going to get into the kids here in a little bit, but as I told you earlier in the program, we have three very special guests, three World War II veterans. Just a little fact, World War II, 16 million Americans served in World War II. 16 million. Yet there are only 500,000 World War II veterans left. So if you have a great-grandpa out there for your kids, if you have a grandfather or father in some cases, it is important that we continue to remember them. And if you know a neighbor, and this is something that's important because 77 years ago, we were attacked. This is Pearl Harbor Day. There's a reason we have this on December 7th. Because we were talking earlier about 9/11 and how us adults said, wait, I can't believe the kids don't remember this. Well, that's the same with this front row here. They remember a time when Pearl Harbor was attacked, and it's etched in their memory. And there was no way out of World War II. It's called a world war for a reason. There was absolutely no avoiding this. We were attacked by Japan, and obviously the Nazis at one point were winning in Europe. These men and women had to step up, and they rose their hand. As much as they knew how terrible it would be, they volunteered in droves. They lined up, and they fought, and they were disappointed if they couldn't get in, and they kept going back and back. And there was no way out of service. As Doyle told us earlier, his father was a farmer, wanted to serve. They said, no, you had to be involved. Kids collected scrap metal and rubber. Everybody did their part because this really had to be done. This was a time that it's different from today. And us younger folks under 77 don't really realize that, hey, it's a time that these men stepped up in face of adversity, in face of danger to protect our country. I'm going to introduce them one by one. We have Mr. Bruce Ellis. He's Elson. I've known you for years. This is what I do. I'm reading none of your kids' names, by the way, because I'll butcher them all. But Bruce Elson, he's representing the Army. We have Virgil Wiley. Virgil Wiley was the Army Air Corps. For those of you who don't know, during World War II, we didn't have the Air Force yet. So essentially, that was the Air Force. So we have a pilot here, and our friend Ken Carter representing our Navy folks. Big round of applause for our greatest generation here in the front row. Yeah, please stand up. Please stand up. Now, we've asked each of them to say a few brief words. Instead of having them stand up, we're going to have them speak from their seat, but they want to talk a little bit about what I just talked about. I'm talking from a history point of view, but I want them to tell you in their own words the feeling of the country during that time and that feeling of patriotism. Who would like to go first?
What an honor it is. Do I need this? Can you hear me in the back? What an honor it is for me to stand before you today and be recognized as part of that greatest generation and surrounded by all of these recipients of the Medal of Honor. I feel have quite a bit of humility doing this because every single one that fought during World War II was a hero. But the real heroes were those that did not come back. And when I was in grade school, about the third grade on through high school, I walked to school with three of my best friends all those years, and two of them did not come back. So it was a great time for this nation to come together, and I think it's never come together like that since that time. When I was visiting some friends in Canyon City, and my brother and I was down on the Arkansas River playing in the water, and when we got back to the house, it was announced that Pearl Harbor had been attacked. Well, that next Monday, every single guy able-bodied was running to the recruiting offices to sign up. But poor me, I wore glasses and nobody'd take me, so I had to wait for the draft, and they didn't draft anybody until they were 18. So as soon as I was 18, I went to the draft board and volunteered and spent 3 years in the service. but it was, and I fought in the Pacific, and I could talk to you 45 minutes about my stories, but I'm warned only just a few. But I appreciate all of you children that are having interest in this period of history. My daughter-in-law is a 5th grade teacher at Hoff here in town, and she has me come and talk to her 5th graders every year, and it's quite a experience, and they certainly enjoy hearing about that. And then I also have been visiting the NCO Academy at Peterson Air Force Base in the Springs, and I've talked to them for several years. The class is about 140, and take my things with me that I like to show, and they made me honorary commandant of the academy, which was quite an honor. And then one of the instructors, his teacher is at the academy with grade schools, and the next thing I know, they were wanting me to go to talk to about 40 to 60 4th and 5th graders, and which I was happy to do and tell them a few stories. So I can express how glad I am to see you young people here wanting to know about World War II, because to tell you the truth, most people have forgot about World War II in the history books. So keep that up, and finish your educations. Pay attention to what mom and dad tells you. Don't take any bad habits up. During World War II, every single guy smoked. And I got back home, and my wife said she wasn't going to kiss me anymore if I didn't stop smoking. So that was a good incentive. And so don't ever take up any of those bad habits. And because a week ago today I would turn 95, and I think that's part of it. That's part of it, because I never used alcohol or smoked or any of those things. But as General MacArthur, when he was dismissed by Truman there in Korea when he wanted to start a Third World War, he addressed Congress, as some of you remember, and he said 3 things that he wanted to impress on everyone was that, and especially those in the service, and even applied to others, to duty, and the next thing was honor, and the last thing was country. And then another thing that he told them as he finished his speech that day, he said, old soldiers never die, they just fade away, and that's how I'm going to end my conversation.
All right.
Person, would you be so gracious to say a few words? Yes, sir.
Whenever World War II broke out, I was a junior in high school, and it was a small country high school, and I said to the other boy in the class, I said, I think I know what you and I are going to be doing. And he says, yeah, which one of us is going first? And but anyway, we managed. He got a medical discharge, and I got sent overseas. So anyway, we're back. I'm back here today, and come out with only thing that I got is my hearing is not as great as it used to be. But it couldn't be that I'm 93 and I'm going to be 94 next month. So we really appreciate the interest that you people, all of you, are showing in some of the past, and I know you all got great hopes for the future that maybe, and I have one great hope, that none of you guys or girls now ever have to face a military draft. Some of you would take to it, some of you would take a little longer, and some would just have one heck of a time adjusting to it. And what you're doing for us, gosh, this is great. I appreciate it. I never had a better birthday party in my life. But of course, I got a birthday coming up in February, and I will be 94. But I never thought I'd even get this far, so I just appreciate every day as it comes. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And the young buck of the group, Ken Carter, the baby of the group, Ken Carter.
Well, like you said, I'm the baby of the group. I'm 91. I'll be 92 in May, so. My brother was in the National Guard in the 1940s. And they called him up to be a guard on the California coast because they were afraid Japanese submarines were seen there. So that got me started thinking, so I was only 14. We lived on a farm. My dad asked me one day, he said, well, Ken, you think you're gonna go in the service? And I said, well, I know I am. I just gotta wait until I'm old enough. And when I could become 16, I told my dad, I said, well, it's time, Dad. So in March of 1945, I think it was, I was 16, so that's when I joined. But the Navy wouldn't take me until I was 17, so I had to wait 2 more months. But anyway, I was trained for the invasion of Japan. We were supposed to be the second wave in, and I was a operator of a twin-engine landing craft, and full of barrels of oil and gas and ammunition, and so you know what would happen there, so I probably wouldn't have been here. So anyway, that's kind of a short story, and the reason I couldn't hardly wait till when I was 14 to get back and get in the Army or Navy or whatever. My older brother told me, he said, better think about it, Ken, better think about it. And I said, okay. So I waited till I was 16. So anyway, then Dad had to move to town because he couldn't take care of the farm by himself. So that's the way it ended.
One thing that strikes me about these gentlemen talking, and I know them a little bit, Virgil a little bit less, but I've heard his story, is their stories are much more colorful. Ken was bayoneted. I know that Bruce has a Bronze Star. I know that you had some action in your plane. And so these gentlemen saw some of the worst of humanity, but they're here and celebrated, wonderful lives after that war. So I know some old guys come. I think back to one time a World War I veteran came and spoke to our school, and I thought, okay, some guy. Now here, 25, 30 years later, it's very special to me. So I hope you guys remember this. When you're talking to your grandkids one day and remembering these greatest men, greatest generation, and the reason that we have these freedoms today, you often hear that, hey, they protect the freedom, but during World War II, I mean, that was truer than any other time in our history, or at least modern history, that these gentlemen stood in front of adversity, in front of evil, and stopped it before it hit our shores. So one more time, big thank you to our veterans.
I mentioned to them that I brought the stuff they can
Sure.
see afterwards.
Did you bring your photos? Did you bring your photos? Did you bring your photos of your plane?
No, yeah,
Oh.
I just.
So we have a few things. Bruce wanted to. Bruce was in Japan after the bomb went off, so he has a little shadow box. When you're looking around after the event, he wanted to point out he picked up some stuff after the bomb. So it's very interesting. A melted bottle and some coins and stuff. Well, without further ado, let's go and honor these wonderful kids. I'd like to bring up Dr. Bell. Dr. Bell, they are probably sick of hearing me, so I'm going to let Dr. Bell tell you why Cherry Creek supports this and how proud she is of these kids.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Nikki Bell. He calls me Dr. Bell. Within that, Cherry Creek is so proud to show that Veterans Day is not a day. We recognize and love, support, and so humbled by our partnership here. We love and support our military families, in addition to all those who give the sacrifice, and recognize the family serves with the gentlemen that are up here, the daughters, the spouses, and the children. And within that, we continue to grow our love, our honor, and our integrity and humility. I think everybody in this room can feel the humility. Once you experience this, our hope is that we inspire the young ones to become all that they are. You have something planted in you. That's why you were chosen to be here. Cherry Creek, out of 55,000 students, has chosen you to represent us. Your schools have picked you because you demonstrate the servant heart that you just heard from these fine young men. You show integrity, patriotism, and honor to your family, to our country, and to our district. So I'm excited because you're going to be able to hear from 3 of the fine students in Cherry Creek who are going to represent elementary school, middle school, and high school to share why the military is so important to them, or why they're so dedicated and loyal to the patriotism in their heart that they're about to share with you. So thank you.
And Nikki, I invite you to stay up. We'll call each, so although we have 35 kids, as much as we love to hear from all of them, we'd be here until midnight. So we 3 children volunteered to speak on behalf of their grade level. So first we have
Eli from Peakview Elementary, will you please come forward?
Now Eli's going to read his essay that he wrote, or his letter, and then we'll ask him a couple questions.
This is a letter his teacher from 2nd grade wrote about him, and he chose to read this to share what's in his heart.
I would like to nominate Elijah on the first day of school. Elijah began looking through my class library, asking why I didn't have more books about the military. He is proud of the men and women who served in our country, and even more proud to let me know that his very own mother was a part of the Coast Guard. For many years on many oceans, Elijah has told me how much he hopes to be in the military to protect his country when he is old enough. On Thursday mornings during morning meeting, what we call our Thankful Thursday, our class takes a moment to think about something or someone who fights for our country. He is proud of his country and the people who protect it. I think this would be an amazing experience for a student who loves those who dedicate their lives to fight for our country.
Yeah. I just want to remind everybody that the #1 fear of people is speaking in public. And to be in 2nd grade and cold read a letter about yourself, that's tough. So, Elijah, we want to ask you a couple questions. I know you read that, but why do you think you were nominated? Why are you so passionate about our veterans and our active duty military?
Well, I think I got nominated because it because my teacher on the first day of school knew I really liked the military, and she thought it would be a good fit for me.
I think so too. I think so too. Great job. Thank you so much. Now that's just one example. One thing along with this little gift pack that your student or you guys are going to receive is the actual nomination letter for you to take home with you. So you'll have an opportunity to see what the teacher, administrator, or whomever put them up and nominated them, their words. This isn't, again, some willy-nilly thing where they just said, pick a random kid. I mean, these teachers took the time to write a special letter about your student or about you, because they saw this value in you. So this is an amazing thing.
Next, we have Dodge from Prairie Middle School.
Dodge. Now, Dodge and I spoke. He didn't necessarily want to read his letter. He just wanted to kind of talk about the same question I asked Elijah, is why are you so passionate about this? Why do you think you're here today?
My whole family has always been in military, and I've always had that idea of wanting to be in the military when I'm older, and I was always fascinated by World War II, Vietnam, Korea, all these past wars, and have always loved doing research about them and stuff. And I just think that our military is probably the #1 thing that should be honored in the U.S., because without these people, we wouldn't be able to be free and have the country that we have today.
Agreed. Now, yeah, please. And one thing, I know you kind of touched on it, but you are passionate about joining the military. What about those folks that say, hey, maybe the military is not for me? Why is it important that even civilians or people that don't join the military respect that service?
I think that they should be able to respect the service and for what they've done, just because, once again, they gave civilians their freedom and stuff. And it's not only the military members that have brought us our freedom. Without the work of a lot of civilians and things that just regular day people have done for us, our country wouldn't be how it is today.
That's exactly true. And we take a quick second. I know I've met a couple first responders in the room. I want to thank you as well. Obviously, we're talking about the men and women that serve overseas and in the military, but our first responders are out there in all of our communities doing this day in, day out. So I know there's a few in the room today. Thank you as well.
Our senior representing us in Cherry Creek High School, Miss Jennifer from Endeavor.
Don't look so excited, Jennifer. You volunteered for this. And she wants to go in the Marines. She's going to get a whole awakening on what volunteering for something means. You've obviously, we spoke earlier, and I'm very impressed with you. You want to talk a little bit about why we're here today?
Yeah, of course. So,
You're going to be a Marine. I'm going to give you the microphone.
okay. So I believe I was chosen to come over here because I've grown up with always wanting to be independent woman. I've also grown up around a mentor. He was a commander. He wasn't a family. He was just a family friend. I went to school, and he was a mentor at school as well. I was in ROTC. So he kind of like always guided me through it, and I've studied a lot throughout. Like, for example, let's see. He's taught me right from wrong. He's been a very good leader in my life, and he was in the Navy, and so I really appreciate what he's taught me, and he's made sure that I know what I want. He's made sure that I know that what I'm gonna get into once I'm in the Marines, and he's helped me open my eyes, and I really appreciate that. And rest in peace to him. He just passed away this past year. He had cancer. So it's all for him. In other words, yeah.
So, yeah, please. So I'm going to ask you another question, because we talked about this a little bit earlier, and I think it's very important. As we all know, not everybody has the family structure of many of these kids have here today. And we often say here, sometimes the bad kids are often the best leaders. You don't get people to follow you to do bad stuff if you're not inherently a good leader. So a lot of times they just don't have the direction. And obviously we just talked about the importance of a mentor, even if it's not family. As a senior in high school, as a school leader, an older kid, even as some of your older siblings, everything you do is going to affect what your younger siblings do, whether it's good or bad. I hate to tell you, as much as they annoy you, trust me, I come from a family of 5. The fact is, they're going to follow you, and they're going to take after your example. So, or a leader at your school or whatever, why is it important that you continue to be a mentor, even if you're not a grown-up, even if you're just leading from your own age group?
People are watching you all the time, especially kids. I've seen. I have younger siblings, so I've seen that they watch every move that you make, and they kind of ask themselves, and they kind of tell themselves, like, this is what she did. Let me see. This is what I can do to help myself out. Like, other words, I'd say people are always watching you, especially kids. Kids are the new generation of us, and I just feel like we need to, like, always, sorry. So, yeah, let me start all over. They're always watching us, so, like, I just feel like we need to be good examples for them and make sure that we know that they're gonna grow up to become good people as well.
Great job.
Yeah.
You did great. Great job. That's fine. All right, so what we're going to do now, we have a stack of the letters somewhere here. Back over there. So I don't think we have time to individually read all of them. So what we will do, but we are going to call up each kid individually. So they have their moment up here and get a photo and receive their gift. So I'm going to ask help of Ms. Tanya Quintana, our gallery director here, to read the names. And me and Nikki will pass out the awards.
Okay. So we're going to start off with the second graders. And I apologize early if I mispronounce your name. All right. So the first student we have is Joshua Ofori. What I can do is just read just a little bit of each student. So Joshua was nominated because ever since the first day of school, he's demonstrated a passion for the military. One of the first questions he ever asked his teacher is, do you have any books about the military? So he's been on a quest to learn more and more about the military each day. He's especially interested in the Marines because of his 18-year-old brother who's currently serving in the Marine Corps. So Joshua is fascinated by the stories that his brother tells and about his experiences. So congratulations, Joshua. Our next second grader, Xander Pohar. So Xander was nominated. They thought he was a perfect choice to come to the field trip because he too has always been very supportive of military personnel. He was 3 years old when his brother left to the Marines for 4 years. So every day he'd wake up and say, I wonder where Tage is today. I sure hope he's okay. So the entire time he was gone, Xander and his family have a long history of veterans, and so he's always appreciated the military. Congratulations, Xander. Okay, and then the next second grader is Tyler Vaughn. So Tyler has also expressed a great deal of interest in their military and veterans throughout his school year. Several times they have heard him talk about family members who have served or are currently serving. So, and within the past several weeks, on October 31st, their school hosted a storybook character dress-up day. And the instant Tyler found out about this, he was determined to dress up as his heroes in the military. Congratulations, Tyler. Eli, if you can come back up and bring your paper for me, please. I know Eli read his letter, but I know for some of us it was a little hard to hear everything exactly. But just again, he was nominated because he also was looking through the library asking why there were not any more books about the military. So he's very proud of the men and women who serve our country, and we're very proud of you. Congratulations. And our next second grader is Eliana Martinez. So Eliana is very, very proud of her mom, Regina Martinez. Her mom is retired from the Air Force and is an active volunteer at their school. You can see her mom volunteering on the PTO board, doing crosswalk duty, and in the classroom and library on a regular basis. So Eliana beams with pride each year and that they have Veterans Day Assembly, and her mom is there to be recognized. Congratulations. Our next second grader is Kavya. Did I pronounce that correctly? Is it Kavya? Yes? Okay. So Kavya is a dedicated student who strives to understand other perspectives. She's very thoughtful and empathetic to others around her in and out of the classroom. So this is no different for Kavya when she thinks about veterans and what kind of job it truly is. She is really inspired because of her understanding that veterans' job is not a regular kind of job. So congratulations. Moving on to the next grade level, we have third grade, Dominic. Let's see. Dominic is a wonderful selection. He has a love for the Air Force and Army because of his family. And his father served in the Army for 10 years, and his grandfather served in the Air Force for 29 years. So he definitely smiles anytime they're talked about and listen to the stories of his family members. Congratulations. The next student is fourth grader, Sia. Is it Sia? Yes? Okay, awesome. Sia's brother is currently enlisted in the armed forces, and she demonstrates a strong connection to the military as she understands the sacrifices of those who serve in the military and make every day and the impact that they have on their family members. So congratulations, Sia. Next, we have a fourth grader, Josiah Williams. All right. Congratulations, Josiah. Josiah, as the son of two members of the Air Force, Josiah experiences the pride and sacrifices of military life daily. This legacy of services comes through his pride for our country and everyday conversations in the classroom. He's a leader in respecting our flag and informing others about its representation of freedom. Congratulations. Our next student, fourth grader Chloe. So Chloe actually wrote an essay regarding her passion for the men and women who've served in the military. So some quotations of that essay are, Veterans Day is a day to celebrate the men and women who sacrificed their lives for us. War is a powerful thing. It can take away lives. These men and women are very brave and deserve our gratitude. My grandfather was in the Army. He served in the Vietnam War and the Korean War. I'm very grateful he survived both of those wars. Any people who serve in the military are brave and powerful. Our country would not be like this if it weren't for all of these people. Thank you. Congratulations, Chloe. Our next fourth grader is Alex Rachel. So, Alex also was nominated because he wrote a beautiful poem to thank our veterans. And when Alex grows up, he wants to be a Navy SEAL. So. Congratulations, Alex. Our next fourth grader is Brannock Sylvester. Is that correct? Yeah. So Brannock is a very special fourth grader at Canyon Creek Elementary. Since he was in preschool, he's had a love for veterans and the U.S. military. When he was a third grader, he wrote an amazing paper on the branches of the United States military. He can explain all of them. Should we put him on the spot? No, I'm just kidding. He does continue to love U.S. history and has already decided that when he grows up, he wants to be a Navy SEAL. Congratulations. All right, our next fourth grader is Vinny. Vinny Calomino Poitra. All right, so Vinny's brother is a Marine and has been deployed. Vinny really looks up to his older brother, and having him deployed has been very hard. So they have noticed that every Friday you wear a red shirt, and that you shared that you wear this shirt RED because it stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. So every Friday they keep him and your brother in your thoughts and prayers. So congratulations, Vinny. All right, our next fifth grader is Isaiah Moore. Isaiah's dad, Michael, is enlisted in the military right out of high school. After his initial enlistment, he went to college, completed the ROTC program, and earned his commission in the U.S. Army Infantry. He completed his term as the rank of captain. So, Isaiah, congratulations. Our next fifth grader is Alex Garrett. So Alex was nominated. Not only is Alex a member of the Young Marines, but his mom is active duty in the Air Force and his stepdad served in the Army. Alex hopes to join the Marines when he is 18, and throughout his time attending Buffalo Trail, they've noticed that Alex enjoys reading anything about the military. Congratulations. Let's see, our next fifth grade student is Katie. So Katie was nominated. Sorry, hold up, Katie. Katie moved to Colorado last year after her mom passed away in Florida. Her Uncle Joe, Katie's mom's brother, adopted both Katie and her sister, and they moved them to Colorado, and where he is in the United States Air Force colonel. So throughout the last year in fourth grade, Katie shared stories about her uncle's military experience, and her patriotism was clearly evident. Learning this morning that her Uncle Joe will be stationed in Germany for second semester this year, Katie and her sister will be moving with him and attend a school in Germany from January throughout the summer. So Katie, you are definitely loved here at this school, and your ability to overcome some amazing odds. So congratulations to you, Katie. Our next student, fifth grader, Kaylor. Kaylor Treblehorn. Kyler, apologies, Kyler. Kyler is an outstanding young man. He works hard and has clear goals for his future. He has shared at the beginning of this year that he wants to learn everything he can so he can attend the Air Force Academy. Kyler has respect for his uncle, who is also in the Air Force. Congratulations. Our next student is fifth grade Evelyn Huff. So Evelyn comes from a large family filled with veterans. Her father is a disabled veteran who served 12 years in the Air Force. And Evelyn's extended family includes grandpas and uncles who are in the Navy and Marines as well. Her great-grandfather was a World War II Marine vet who also was a prisoner of war in Camp Kawasaki in Japan. Congratulations. Next, we have a 5th grade student, Marcus Garland. So Marcus demonstrates strong support for military veterans, scouts, and others every day. This is because he admires, looks up, and takes advice directly and indirectly from his family members and fellow scouts. His family members, scout leaders, and fellow scouts are important people to him in his life. Their presence and values influenced who he is today. Congratulations. Please know I'm not reading your entire letter, so please make sure you read your letter, your nomination. So definitely taking snippets of this. Our next student, 5th grade, J.R. Weber. So JR is in the Young Marines program and is always trying to learn and support our veterans. He wants to become a Marine when he's eligible so he can build and design for the military. Congratulations. Our next student, 5th grade, Nolan Danko. Danko? Nolan is definitely a military enthusiast and perfectly embodies the essence of this honor. He has researched all branches of the military, knows the histories of multiple wars fought throughout the 20th century. He is our class military historian. We should have had you speak today. And his family members that have fought in the military. It is his dream also to join the military at some point in his life. Congratulations. Next, we have 5th grader Maurice Moe. Is it Moe Johnson? All right. Moe is a perfect choice to represent Meadow Point Elementary. His mom reports that Moe was born patriotic and was named after his great-grandfather Maurice. He grew up hearing stories about the military service from veterans in his family. He's especially proud of his great-grandfather and has learned how Moe helped storm the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. Congratulations. Next, we have 5th grade Charlotte. And I won't try to pronounce your last name, Charlotte. Congratulations. She's always been a passionate... Huh? Derek Swiler. Charlotte Derek Swiler. Congratulations. You've always been a passionate young patriot who understands the incredible bravery and selflessness of men and women who serve in the armed forces, experienced through her own family members. So she does come from a politically active family and often shares her political awareness. Congratulations. Next, we have 5th grade Noah Smith. So Noah is not a typical student by any means. He works the hardest and is always asking if he is doing enough and how he can do more. So he's definitely has a passion for the military. When the pledge came out, Noah stands at attention, saluting the flag on a daily basis. Congratulations. Next, we have 5th grade Gavin. And Gavin, you've been nominated based on your respect for the military and your entire family's dedication and commitment to service and celebrating veterans. Gavin's mother organizes and works closely with our school to hold Veterans Day celebrations, and Gavin's grandmother volunteers to do activities with students in preparation for Veterans Day celebrations. Congratulations. Next is a 7th grader, Siler Holloway. For Siler's whole life, he has known military. It's just been his way of life. Serving your country means sacrifice not only for the individual but for the family. He comfortably talks about moving from California to Colorado, and he was sad to leave his friends, but he knew he had the ability to make new friends at Dakota Valley and has demonstrated his skills at Sky Vista. Congratulations. All right, moving on to 7th grade, Liliana. Lily has a strong interest in military and especially for women in the service. As her dad was in the military, she was exposed to the processes and procedures as she was growing up. She lived near a base and often heard stories from her dad. She enjoyed going to museums and learning about the military round-off. So congratulations. Next, we have 8th grade Jordan Mariska. Jordan is an 8th grade middle school student, and he definitely cares for his school and his community, most of all his family. When he was in 6th grade, he was approached by Mr. Zapfel and asked to have his scout troop be a part of Veterans Day Assembly at West. He wanted to show his appreciation and honoring veterans by being a part of this big event. Congratulations. Next, from 8th grade, we have John Rush. John's mother is in the military, and he has a desire to potentially join in the future. He exemplifies the characteristics that describe our servicemen and women: high character, moral fortitude, selflessness, service leadership, love of country, and dedication to causes greater than oneself. John speaks eloquently of the personal sacrifices that our servicemen and women make on a daily basis. Congratulations, John. Dodge from Prairie, if you'll come on up and bring your paper. So let me read a little bit what Dodge has here. Let's see. Dodge definitely talks about his father, who is a man who needs only simple things and does not love to be recognized as someone who is a big help to our United States military. However, he would completely disagree. It's not the fact that you did not go through war-like actions in the military. It is that you went into the military willing to die for your country. Give all of your past life things away to protect your country from anything to come at us. And that goes along with anything that came to our family, because you are the best father that I could ever ask for. So this is from Dodge. Congratulations.
One neat thing, that the pedigree, his great-great-uncle is one of the most famous Medal of Honor recipients ever, Eddie Rickenbacker. So it's kind of a neat connection to what we're doing here.
Congratulations. All right, moving on to high school, 11th grade, Kobe Fatzinger. So the military has played a very large role in Kobe's life, mostly because of her mother, who joined when Kobe was young, and her uncle, who has served in the military for many years. The influence from her family is really what has made her want to join the military. She'd like to serve in the Air National Guard, Navy, or the Air Force. She wants to join the ROTC program in college and graduate as an officer. Her love for the military and her leadership role as student council representative here at Overland for the last 3 years makes her a prime candidate to successfully serve her country in the future. Congratulations. And we have 2 seniors. The first one, 12th grade, Brock Holland. Brock has demonstrated his love and his fascination with all branches of the military, especially the Marines, since 9th grade. He has a love for politics and is eager to learn about all sides of issues. Brock has a deep-founded respect for our veterans and all military servicemen and servicewomen. Congratulations. And our final senior, Jennifer. So a little bit about Jennifer. I know she came up, but Jennifer was nominated because she is very passionate about the military and its purpose. Since the 5th grade, she knew she wanted to serve in the Marines. Also, she was an active ROTC member before beginning school at Endeavor, and she plans to join the Marines after graduation. Congratulations. Okay, again, keep in mind that was not your entire letter, so please read those when you get home. Congratulations to all of you, and I'll bring Matt back up. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Tanya. We did this a little bit earlier, but obviously one more big round of applause for these amazing kids. But also, as we heard from their citations or their write-ups, nominations, this is because of those around them, is why they're here. So big round of applause and a big thank you from all you guys to your families, to your grandpas, all of the people that served before you. I want a big on 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on. 1, 2, 3. And a big round of applause. Seriously, this is because of you. This is a direct result of how you positively influence your kids' lives. We are going to do group photos. Once again, thank you for coming down. Thank you, Cherry Creek Schools, for setting all this up. I want to thank a special Vietnam veteran, Steve Melcher. His personal contribution helped with lunch today, so big round of applause to Steve for helping out. Thanks to our Vietnam veterans. And we're going to do a big group photo, so no one run off. Please, we got a little bit of time, so also feel free to come up and talk to some of these veterans. And as for the ceremony, that's it. One thing, few people asked me if the Medal of Honor quotes books were available. They are. I'm not trying to hawk any goods, but we do sell them. Each Medal of Honor book that we sell goes back into our educational programs. I know some people were asking about getting those to take home, gift to other people other than the ones that your student has grabbed. So thank you again, and we've truly enjoyed this. Thank you.